Hi Virgos, how are you? Welcome to my channel. This is Shooting Stars Tarot. Welcome if you're new, welcome back. I'm so excited to do your reading this month. Virgos, Virgos, Virgos. So I'm a Virgo moon and I love this. I love Virgo season. It's always resonated with me because as a Pisces rising, I can get caught up in the dream and the possibilities, and I'm an Aries, so I'm very optimistic. And Virgo season always has a way of bringing me back to the grindstone, bringing us all back to focusing on the details, focusing on the structure, the process. And it's so funny that I was getting ready to do your reading and something happened. I received a text message, and I'll talk about it as I do the reading if it applies, but it's just my response to it, my emotional response, the way I wanted to react was very Virgo. It resonates with the Virgo season. I mean, I've been laughing. I went on a drive because I just couldn't believe it was right before I did your reading. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm using the Fountain Tarot. We're going to do a 9-card spread with significator cards. Okay. Spirit and universe, what are the messages and advice and guidance for Virgos this season with respect to life and love? Virgo season. Also, I'm getting hit hard with this algorithm change that YouTube did, that Google did. And I don't know if it's because, obviously I have not been as consistent as I need to be with my videos, so I take blame in part of that. But if I don't understand how you can go from getting 16,000 views on a video consistently to just a couple hundred. So it's been very hard for me to do these with the amount of views that I get. So if you could, please, I would really appreciate it if you'd comment and like and subscribe, because I'm trying to fix this algorithm problem. I'm not sure if it's because I have the word shooting in my title and my name, Shooting Stars Tarot. I'm wondering if I'm getting shadowed. You know, they kind of like put your videos down because of the name. So I'm kind of wondering that, but I'd like, before I change my channel name, I'd like to try other things. 1, being more consistent. 2, if you could like and share and subscribe, that'd be awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, let's get started. Virgos. What are the messages, advice, and guidance for Virgos? 2 more shuffles, and we'll pull your cards. We're going to pull one row at a time. For starters, we have the Fountain, which I'll talk about. The Fountain upright. This is a major arcana card. Actually, 3 major arcana cards. Wow. Justice reversed, High Priestess reversed. And then the significator is the 4 of Swords reversed. This season is your wheelhouse. It's where everybody gets kind of forced into dealing with the details and the structure, which comes extremely naturally to you. Why? Why is that? Virgo season is the time of year back in the Agorian times when and I tell the story all the time, so apologize if you've heard it a million times, but back there in the Agorian times when the community or the village had to till the fields and prepare the fields for the next year's crops, the farmers had to, and the whole community actually, had to be very in tune with the weather cycles and time everything so perfectly so that the crops would flourish the next year. Because if the crops didn't flourish the next year, there would be no food. The animals couldn't eat and the people of the village couldn't eat. So it is that concept that is, this time of year is so important in this time of year, because it has to do with planning. It has to do with resources, bandwidth in terms of energy, right? And ability to focus, plan, create processes, create structure around what you're doing. Because if you don't prepare appropriately, everything else moving forward could be a disaster. Now, there are people and energies that rule their lives in that way, in not using that, right? There are people that can be very successful by being an absolute debacle in terms of their structure, how they structure their lives. But for you, you understand that preparedness is always better than not being prepared. You can deal with anything as it comes, but at least you're setting yourself up for success. So with that being said, the Four of Swords being reversed is definitely telling you it is not time to calm down and rest and relax. It's not time to heal your mindset. It is actually a time for action. It's actually a time for thinking. And in the tarot, swords represent the air energies, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, and those air archetypes are ruled by the mind, their thoughts. And so when this card is reversed, it is very clearly telling you that it is not a time to rest your mind. It is a time to force your mind to prepare energetically, prepare your surroundings, prepare your home for the winter, right? And not technically, not literally the winter, but prepare. And this is also telling you that you have the energy to do that. So now let's look at these cards. The Fountain in this tarot deck, this is a standard 78 card tarot deck. They have added a 79th card that sits between the Wheel, which is the last major arcana card, and the Fool, which is the first major arcana card. And the Fountain, it's really funny because it's actually been showing up in everybody's reading this month, because the Fountain represents that space, that moment in time where you're finishing something and you're getting prepared to start a new phase and a new cycle through the major arcana process. So it's hilarious to me that this is telling you it is not time to rest your mind. It is actually a time to use that space and time to prepare for what's next. Because what is next is not comfortable. But you know, Virgos, Virgo suns, Virgo risings, Virgo moons, just like I know, that if I don't set myself up energetically, physically, my physical space, my home, my workout structure, the food I put in my body, I'm not going to be able to be best prepared for what is next, whether it's good or bad, difficult or easy. This, with the Justice being reversed, means things are not necessarily going to go in your favor, but that doesn't mean you're going to let it ruin your life. Why? Because you spent the time to prepare. The High Priestess being reversed means that you could be, what's next could be not only not go in your favor, but it could be very difficult for you to grasp, because the High Priestess represents the ability to hold something in, hold something back. She's kind of the gatekeeper, the keeper of secrets, and the keeper of kind of the underworld, this underlying churning that we have, our vibration, our frequency that we have in this life, our gut instincts. All right. She, he, you, if the High Priestess were upright, right, would be able to know, regardless of me being prepared, I know it's still going to be okay because X, Y, and Z. Or I have a feeling that this person that's coming into my life isn't kind of the best, so I'm going to keep things in my back pocket and let things play out, but all the while knowing that I'm not giving away all the information. So it has to do with boundaries. It has to do with being in tune with the universe, with oneself, with contexts around you. But when she's reversed, there could be confusion. There could be sharing too much, right? People could find things out. It doesn't work in your favor, etc. So regardless of this, the significator card is telling you to prepare your mind for what's next. And this is easy for you. This is your wheelhouse. It's how you operate, which is why you are always very successful, because you know that the devil lies in the details. Should we take these? Let's take them in order. The Hermit, Judgment reversed, the Emperor. 6 major arcana cards. Let's use this as a clarifier. The Hermit, Judgment, and the Emperor reversed signified by the 4 of Cups and the 6 of Wands. Let's start here. 6 of Wands represents the fire energies, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And those archetypes tend to operate in an eternal by being eternally optimistic, action oriented. Go, go, go. I can do this, I can do that. Everybody should be able to do this, everybody should be able to do that. Okay? Now, that card clarifying the 4 of Cups is extremely interesting, because the 4 of Cups has to do with apathy, boredom, not accepting propositions. So Cups represent the water energies, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Emotional. They're ruled by emotions. Okay? So what this is very much telling you to do is, this is stating that the victory is going to come when you don't get emotionally entangled in things that are occurring in your life. You already know this. As an earth sign, you operate very well in this space. But this is going to be key this Virgo season. Why? Because 1, the Hermit, this is your card. You are going to want to separate yourself and isolate yourself so you can recharge. This is a period of planning and thinking and preparing for what is next. Judgment reversed and the Emperor reversed. You're going to have moments where you feel out of control, where you're feeling frustrated. Again, things not going in your way. You're not going to get the answers in the time frame that you need or that you want with the Judgment reversed. It's going to be frustrating. So what you need to do, and this is natural to you, is to step back, sit in your power, sit with what you can control, which is yourself, your thoughts, and the amount of preparedness that you put together. All right? Whatever else is being offered to you, whatever comes your way, the victory lies in your ability to not get emotionally wrapped up in these 4 cards right here. All reversed, all major arcanas. It is going to be extremely frustrating. Your reaction to that frustration is paramount to the victory. So what happened, I'm going to shuffle as I'm telling the story, but what happened was I'm starting to see somebody slowly, right? Because I have a million things going. My work is amazing. I'm putting all out energy into work. I get a lot of satisfaction as a Virgo moon by being organized and being around people who are organized and wanting to, as my Aries sun, I see a great deal of I see a great deal of, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm completely lost for words right now. I see a great deal of promise in what we are doing as a group or groups. And I feel very compelled to assist in any way that I can to help everybody be successful. That's part of my Aries optimism, that's part of my Pisces rising, and that's definitely part of my Virgo moon. But I also know, as part of my Virgo moon, that we cannot get to the next level as a team or a group or whatever without being prepared for whatever else comes our way. So I put a lot of effort into my work, probably too much, and it's frustrating when people don't care, okay? But, we'll talk about that in a minute. But, so I'm starting to see this guy, and it just seems that, and maybe he's not the guy for me, but maybe this is just a communication breakdown. I'm not too worried about it. I'm not emotionally invested at this point, really. But it just seems that he wants to have me be available when he wants to go do something, right? All the time. And I need notice. I need to be emotionally prepared for what I'm doing. And I need like a couple days notice. I can't just get a text message and say, hey, want to go do this, want to go do that. I need to be like, I need the communication from someone to come like, hey, I'd like to see you on Saturday night, and this is like on Tuesday, right? I'd like to see you on Saturday night. I have something really fun for us. Be ready around 7, wear something nice, right? Or bring a swimming suit. I have something planned for us. Bring a swimming suit, dress warm, and I'll pick you up at 8. Okay, whatever. I need that type of planning just because if I don't have that soon, like in a prepared sense, then by Thursday, like I've already scheduled out what I'm doing Friday. Most likely by Wednesday, I've already scheduled out what I'm doing Friday and Saturday night. And it doesn't have to mean I'm doing something with somebody else. It just means that I fill my time up. I like being busy. I like being organized. And I get very flustered, probably too much. I don't know if this means I'm like a controlling person or whatever, but I get very flustered when somebody thinks I can just drop what I'm doing to go spend time. And so we had made plans earlier this week to go do something very special and exciting on Thursday night. And then today, and I know it's Sunday night, but today he says, why don't we change the plans and extend what we're doing for another day? Can you not go into work so you can spend this time with me? And I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking, why do you think I'm just going to call in sick to work so I can spend time? And I know he would have something so planned, and he plans wonderful dates, and he puts a lot of effort into it. But I just got so offended because he literally thought I was just going to not take my career seriously and just call in sick or ask for the day off. And it's like, no, and this is very Virgo season, especially for a Virgo moon. It's like, on what planet do you live in? Like, unless you're a billionaire and you just want to marry me and like give me all this time and so I can just do yoga all day or get a job that I can just call in sick whenever, right? And I'm not going to feel fulfilled doing something like that. It's like, in what world do you think, maybe I'm just, no, you need somebody that's way more available. Oh my gosh, I'm just so flustered. I had to like go for a drive and be like, this is exactly Virgo season. Like, and I'm setting my boundaries, and I'm not trying to be like, I'm Miss Career or anything, but it's so frustrating, so frustrating. So frustrating. Because I'm like planning the next steps of my life, whether there's somebody there or not. And I know I need to make space for somebody, definitely, of course. But this last minute stuff just kills me. And I know it's Sunday, but like for me to just ask for work off the week of, it's like that. I'm not in high school. That's like what you do when you, I don't know, have a different job. Anyway, whatever. Let's pull this last row. 2 more shuffles. Spirit and universe, please clarify off the top of the deck. Well, one more shuffle. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Like, do you guys see why I'm frustrated? It's like, don't just ask me to 5 seconds before something happens to put my career in jeopardy. And it's like, especially since we're not in any sort of serious relationship. It's not like my long-term boyfriend or my husband of 10 years needs to do something that is important. It's like, we're just planning a date in the very early stages of a relationship. Like, in what world do you live in where I'm just like all the time available? Oh, okay. Here we go. So I'm kind of as I'm doing this reading and as a Virgo moon, I'm kind of analyzing how I'm reacting, how I'm responding, how I'm thinking of responding, because it's like I'm asking myself, am I controlling? Am I taking too much offense to this? Okay, let's look at the significator card, Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands, again, fire energy. Upright means temporary, flitting in, flitting out of your life. Everything's lighthearted. Nothing really matters. Just going and having fun all the time. Definitely action oriented, because the knights in tarot mean action, taking action, making propositions, going and doing that, going and doing this. Very action oriented, but without a lot of substance behind the action. It's just always going and having fun all the time. So it's hilarious to me right now with the story that I just told that this is reverse, because the reverse of that means preparedness. It means taking something seriously. It means slowing down, stopping, right? This is like upright. This is like the ex that keeps coming in and out of your life, right? The relationship that just is circular, on and off again, on again, off again, on again, off again. But here, this is the person that comes in and says, no, I'm staying. I want to stay. I'm not going anywhere. Now, look at this. We have another major arcana card, the Chariot, which is a Cancer energy. This has to do with 2 trajectories. Forward movement, yes, but you can go this way or you can go that way. 8 of Pentacles reverse, which means this doesn't mean that you have to do all the work. You can let other people do the work, right? It doesn't mean that you have to put your head down and fully focus all the time. It doesn't mean you have to be on all the time and doing all the time. There is a way to delegate and step back and relax while still moving forward. And then it's interesting that this is in the middle too, and I'll talk about that in a second. But then we have the 9 of Swords. This is a card of anxiety and depression and ruminating and thinking too much, which is probably what I'm doing right now. But definitely letting your emotions and your thoughts get the best of you and get the best of the situation. So when we look at the Chariot in the 2 trajectories, all right, you can choose to go this way and let your emotions and your thoughts get away, run away with them. Or you can choose to say to yourself and to the other person or whatever the situation is, you could choose to say, I'm not taking responsibility for this, but it doesn't mean I'm not moving forward. It doesn't mean I don't want to put the work in. I'm just not going to do the work, all the work right now. Does that make sense? So in this little example story that I gave you, this is a perfect scenario because I can get super frustrated and talk about it and frustrated and, send a emotional response back. Or I can just say, no, sorry, that's not going to work, but it's Thursday night, still good. Right? It still is setting a boundary. It's setting a boundary in a respectful way, without taking on all of the responsibility of like, oh, well, he wants me to be like this and he wants me to be like that and it's frustrating to me and blah, 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 blah. I can just say, no, sorry, maybe next time, right? Simple as that. Okay, let's pull some clarifiers because this is a very interesting reading to me. And please leave your comments below about what's happening in your life right now that this resonates with. you know, whether you're feeling completely out of control, or where you're getting offers all over the place and it can be victorious, but you kind of don't feel like they're going to have a good outcome. And how are you, Virgos, thinking and planning and being in this space of preparing for the next step, the next phase? What's triggering you and making you want to isolate, which is actually good for you because you get a lot of energy from that, pulling away. Leave your comments below. So let's pull some clarifiers. First, let's clarify this Justice and the High Priestess. Spirit and Universe, please clarify the Justice and the High Priestess for Virgos. 2 cards off the top of the deck. One more shuffle. Tower reversed and 5 of Cups reversed. Tower reversed is beautiful because even though things aren't going your way, it doesn't mean everything's coming crashing down. High Priestess reversed, being clarified by the 5 of Cups, means that whatever the circumstance or the outcome, you can only control what you can control. You can only protect what you can protect. And there's no need for guilt or rumination or shame on oneself, on yourself, Virgos, for what did or didn't happen. All right, this is you saying it's not all coming crashing down, and I'm not left out in the cold here. Just because something didn't happen the way you wanted it to, you prepared for the alternative as well, and so that happened, and now everything is still fine. Okay, now it's a time to retreat. Now let's pull some more clarifiers. I'm very interested in this Emperor reverse because that is the card of Aries, and when Aries gets reversed, they can be very angry, they can be frustrated, very judgmental. This is a low vibration Aries, a very immature energy. Please clarify the Judgment and the Emperor reversed. Please clarify the Judgment and the Emperor reversed. Judgment clarified by the King of Wands. Fire energy represents Leo, and then the King of Swords reversed. So Judgment clarified by the King of Wands is a very beautiful energy because this is talking about as things don't go your way, you can still maintain optimism and you can still maintain control, forward movement, and excitement about what's next. Or again with the Chariot, or you can completely lose control and then try to control it by being vindictive and manipulative. Okay, the King of Swords is a very vindictive and manipulative energy. Air energy, and this is kind of outsmarting everybody and playing chess with people's, with the people around you. So this is a very low vibration energy. So it's interesting that the Chariot can do this, or you can just retreat and decide to stay positive through this. Let's clarify the Chariot, shall we? Spirit and Universe, please clarify the Chariot with 2 cards for Virgos. Remember, the point of this is a very key card, not because of its placement, but because of its context to everything else. This has to do with permanence, staying, okay? Making something work regardless of how much it's not working, and a large part of that has to do with preparedness and mindset. Okay, the Chariot, please clarify the Chariot with 2 cards. It's clarified by the Queen of Swords, which has to do with strategy, logic, and then the 3 of Wands. This has to do with let's look at this too. 7 of Wands reversed. I'll talk about that in a minute. So Queen of Wands has to do with strategy, thought, and again, planning. And then the Three of Wands has to do with doing everything that you can do. The key phrase for the Three of Wands is your ships are coming in. So it really means that you're doing everything that you can do to set yourself up for success. And because you've started that momentum, it continues. The universe answers that by giving you what you're working towards. And so, yes, your ships are coming in. Yes, it's going to take strategy. Yes, things are not going to go your way. Yes, you have options for how you're going to respond. And the underlying tone for all of this with the Seven of Wands has to do with breaking down barriers and being open. Being open to ideas, being open to what's next. Again, you've already prepared for all the outcomes. Beautiful. And then the Three of Cups is underneath that. So this does have to do with celebration and other people. This is reversed. So again, back to this Hermit card, isolation. This has to do with reactions and response and planning. Other people are going to do what other people are going to do. This isn't about controlling other people. This has to do with remaining open and being available. I'm laughing as I say that, with reason, all right? And understanding that you're not going to be the one that has to do all the work. When you put barriers up, it forces other people to do stuff. They can react and respond how they want to, but you know where your barriers are. Okay? Let's pull some outcome cards. 3 outcome cards for Virgos. This is a long reading. Outcome cards for Virgos in September. Enjoy this Virgo season. This is your wheelhouse. This is easy for you. Not so easy for everybody else. Okay. I don't know if I should take all these, but let's. The table's about to get messy. We have the 9 of Coins, 9 of Pentacles. This has to do with freedom, abundance, independence. 10 of Wands. All right. Being extremely busy, but being able to handle it. 10 of Cups, emotional satisfaction. This is kind of the pinnacle of the emotional state. In this traditional tarot deck, you see the married couple, and there's kids playing in the field, and there's a stream running near them, and their house is in the background, and they have land, and they're looking up at a rainbow. This has to do with being completely satisfied and fulfilled with everything that's happening in your life. And that includes being busy. For me, my personal example, I love being busy. I get a lot of gratification from being able to handle a lot of stuff. Okay, not being walked on, but being able to handle a lot of stuff. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't, but when I can, I feel awesome. Right? I feel independent and I feel capable. King of Pentacles. This is a huge... Oh, I don't know why that popped out. I accidentally picked that up. So King of Pentacles. I mean, there's nothing... represents Capricorn, a fellow earth sign for you. And Capricorns tend to, just like you, always be very... they're usually very successful because they just keep going. They don't let emotions stop them. They don't let other people stop them. They're just consistency. No matter how they're feeling, they keep doing the work. So great outcome for you, Virgos, because you're going to feel fulfilled. You're going to feel abundant in being busy and being able to do the things that you're doing. And you're going to keep going because you see the end result. You see all that can be gained, all that can be earned, all that can be saved by doing all this stuff that you're going to be doing this month. All right? That cannot be argued with, and that is where the staying power comes in. And that allows you to be open. All right? All right, Virgos, I love you so much. And congratulations. Welcome to Virgo season. I know we're already in it. I know you're loving it. And so thank you so much and enjoy. And happy birthday. Bye, Virgos.